Good morning and welcome to AUM Live. I'm Anna Grace Tompkins.
And I'm Nicholas Drayton. We got the latest campus news, inspiring stories, and events happening right here at Auburn University at Montgomery.
Jess Mazahari, Director of the Center for Disability Services here at AUM, plays a key role in helping students succeed. She works to ensure students can access the accommodations they need across campus. AUM Live reporter Mackenzie Powell has the story.
I'm outside AUM's Center for Disability Services to talk to Department Director Jess Mazahari about the center and the mission of her work. Reporting for AUM Live, I'm Mackenzie Powell. The CDS is a valuable resource to AUM's students. Its operation is possible in part because of Jess Mazahari's skill, empathy, and professionalism. She started in disability services as a teenager and studied in the field through her undergraduate and graduate degrees. She worked as the Disability Services Director at a private university for 8 years and has now been AUM's CDS Director for 5 years.
The primary purpose of my position is to make sure that students with disabilities on campus receive the access that they need across the campus community. So that might look like compliance with the Americans with Disabilities Act. It might look like how we support specific students in the classroom.
Students can receive a variety of accommodations depending on what they personally need to succeed. The CDS and Jess Mazahari have made a difference for student Katie Payne. She has an accommodation for extra time on tests.
Knowing I have a sort of safety bumper, if I need it, that has helped reduce my anxiety a lot when it comes to tests.
Mazahari and the rest of the department establish ongoing relationships with the students they assist.
You know, our aim is to be there with them every step of the way, from, their first orientation to the day they cross the stage at graduation.
Jess Mazahari is invested in students' success and has a key part in making this success happen.
The AUM Art Department recently commemorated the 60th anniversary of the Selma Marchers. Students and faculties honored the local marchers and their vital role in the civil rights movement. AUM Live reporter Patrick Island has more on the tribute.
On the walls of the Case and McDermott Art Gallery stands art, looking back at the 3 marches from Selma to Montgomery that took place 60 years ago. Marches that stand forever in our history.
Was in thinking about this being, this year being a big anniversary for the Selma to Montgomery marches. So we figured as a result of that, it would be a really suitable topic.
The art pieces all use a process called cyanotype, which helped bring the map from Selma to Montgomery to life.
So cyanotypes are a really fascinating process. I think for a lot of people, they look at these images produced on paper that are blue or indigo in coloration, and they might think it's produced using paint or ink, but it's actually a photochemical process.
In a collaboration with students from Booker T. Washington Magnet School, the exhibit is not only a reminder of our past, but also a learning experience.
Not every student, or at least a fair majority of the students, did not recognize that there was more than one march that took place.
The importance of the gallery had a second message for those who worked on it. You're never too young to make a difference.
And so we were trying to convey, just because you're a 19-year-old or a 20-year-old doesn't mean that you can't play a big part in something significant.
And their impact can be felt in each piece on these walls.
I think this exhibit is very impactful, especially highlighting such an extraordinary moment in time.
I'm Patrick Island reporting for AUM Live.
Dr. Andrew McMichael, Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences, says his journey to leadership has been full of twists and turns, but those experiences have shaped him into the mentor he is today. I sat down with him to learn more about his story. Good morning, AUM students. My name is Anna Grace Tompkins, and I'm standing here in front of the Office of the Dean, and I'm about to interview Dr. Andrew McMichael. Dr. Andrew McMichael serves as the Dean of the College of Liberal Arts and Social Sciences at AUM, where he is also a history professor. He is a trained historian, and before coming to AUM, he held administrative roles at Western Kentucky University, where he was the Associate Dean and gained experience in academic leadership.
So the dean's job is to kind of provide vision for the college and to equip faculty, because faculty run the college in their way.
Dr. McMichael explained that his path to becoming dean wasn't something he had mapped out from the start. Before arriving at AUM, he worked in a variety of roles, each one shaping his experiences and ultimately leading him to his position today.
So I sold encyclopedias door to door for a while, and it teaches you rejection, and rejection is not personal. It teaches you how to talk to people, how to be at ease, how to understand things that they want and don't want.
Dr. McMichael is a familiar and welcoming face on campus, always encouraging students to get involved in fun, meaningful activities that help them make the most of their college experience.
Like, I became a bouncer because that just seemed like a fun thing to do. And so, and being a bouncer is not about like hauling people around and throwing them, out the window. Although you do that, it really is, it's a de-escalation is the primary skill of being a bouncer and a bodyguard. And all of those jobs that I've had have helped me get to this in some way. Cooking in a restaurant is an organizational skill. I mean, the cooking is the skill, but you have 10 orders, you've got to make them in a certain way, and everything's got to come out on time. That's a mental organization that you learn, which is a lot of what this is, mental organization.
Dr. McMichael's story is a true testament to students that you can become whatever you set your mind to. You never know where a job will take you or what experiences will shape your path forward. AUM is all about possibilities, and Dr. McMichael is living proof.
The Supreme Court recently declined to hear an appeal in the landmark Obergefell versus Hodges case, a decision significant implication for the LGBTQIA community. Students at AUM have mixed reactions to the ruling. AUMLive reporter Rodriguez Lewis has the story.
Auburn University and Montgomery's LGBTQIA+ students are in a state of relief after the Supreme Court's decision to decline the appeal of Obergefell v. Hodges, the law allowing same-sex marriage. On Monday, November 10th, the Supreme Court declined the appeal to same-sex marriage made by former Kentucky Court Clerk Kim Davis, who was jailed for refusing to provide a marriage license to a same-sex couple. Reaction to this news, particularly from young LGBTQIA+ members, has been filled with relief regarding the Supreme Court's decision.
At the end of the day, love is love. Like, if someone wants to get married, they should be able to, and it shouldn't dictate just off how one person feels, regardless of how everybody else feels. So
Many suggest that their anxiety about the Supreme Court comes from the previous Roe v. Wade ruling. All in all, most are satisfied with this decision and hold hope for future rulings to come.
Lately, we've seen a lot of laws get passed and haven't been very on brand, to say the least, with the laws of America, with what we stand for justice and freedom. And it's good to see that through the battles and the bills and the president himself, we still have something, and we are still going to be fighting, still a fight. And I'm so glad to see that we are still fighting.
Professor Kendra Love's journey from a curious small-town teen reporter to an award-winning journalist and newsroom leader has now brought her to AUM, where she's shaping the next generation of media professionals. Her decades of experience, from publishing newspapers to working on national political communications and Supreme Court cases, have fueled her commitment to truthful storytelling. AUMLive reporter Nicholas Drayton has the story.
I'm standing inside of Auburn University at Montgomery's television studio, where one professor is showing students that journalism isn't just about writing headlines. It's about telling stories that matter. Meet Professor Kendra Love, a veteran journalist whose career has spanned from small-town newspapers to national political campaigns. Professor Kendra Love's journalism journey began early than most. At just 15 years old, her natural curiosity quickly transformed into a lifelong calling to inform and inspire.
So I've always been really naturally curious. I guess you could say I've been nosy. I mean, you know, I just always was like that kid who was reading the encyclopedia. When I was in 6th grade, we had a little 6th grade newspaper, and I was like on that, and so it kind of like just naturally kind of progressed into, hey, I want to write for, you know, a newspaper. So I got the opportunity to write for 3 newspapers, like 3 community newspapers in the like in one in my county, and then the 2 touching counties. And I just got an opportunity to write a couple of times a month for those newspapers, and it just kind of developed into this really big passion of mine.
That passion took her from local community papers to leading entire newsroom across Alabama's Black Belt region, rising from reporter to managing editor, then publisher.
I started as a reporter and a page designer, and I was a managing editor, and then eventually I was a publisher at a weekly, and I did really well with that, and then I got to be the publisher at the daily that I worked with for a long time, and then eventually I was the publisher for 2 weeklies in that same daily, and then my last stint in newspapers, I was the regional editor of 5 newspapers in 5 different counties across the Black Belt, so that was kind of cool to do. And then eventually, you know, I moved on to political communication, where I was able to have my stuff published nationally and work on some Supreme Court cases and some federal court cases and cover the Alabama legislature. So, you know, all those things, there's a whole lot of things that you can do with journalism and, you know, touch different facets of the world. So it's kind of cool.
After more than 2 decades in the industry, Love brought her storytelling skills to higher education, joining Auburn University at Montgomery as lecturer in communication and journalism.
Do that, but I really wanted to take the skill set that I had, and I had, you know, several mentors that believed in me and that helped me be able to get to where I was with my career, and I really wanted to be able to do that for the future generation of journalists and communicators.
Beyond the classroom, Love's work has been recognized with multiple state and national awards, from Troy University's Print Journalism Alumna of the Year to Communicator of the Year honors. Her impact continues not just through the stories she's told, but through the students she's now inspires to tell their own. From the newsroom to the classroom, Professor Kendra Love's story reminds us that journalism is more than a job. It's a lifelong mission to seek truth, share voices, and make a difference. Reporting for AUMLive, I'm Nicholas Drayton. AUM students got into the Halloween spirit while giving back to the community. The campus Halloween party required attendees to bring non-perishable items to benefit the AUM food pantry. AUMLive reporter Mackenzie Powell has the story.
I'm at AUM's Taylor Center, and the annual Halloween Masquerade Ball is taking place. This party emphasized fun for a cause, as participants brought 5 non-perishable food items for entry. The event was organized by the AUM Honor Society. The donations are part of their service initiative.
We want food to be one less worry off of any student's plate.
The prize for bringing the most food was this sparkly crystal ball, which Sarah Causey won with her 40-item donation. The event also provided costume accessories so no one would feel left out of the dressing up festivities. Students took part in fun activities like pumpkin painting, pendant making, a ring toss, and last but not least, fish and scare. The night closed with both a group and individual costume contest. The winner of the individual contest had this to say about the event.
People are really nice, and everybody's costume looked cute, and I won. Yay!
Overall, the AUM Halloween Masquerade Ball was a fun and welcoming event where students could be themselves while dressed as someone else. Or as committee head Noelle Braswell put it,
Have a little scare and have a good time.
reporting for AUMLive, I'm Mackenzie Powell.
Tyriana Causey is a student everyone recognizes on campus, but her journey is far more than just a familiar face. She's overcome significant challenges to get to where she is today. AUMLive reporter Patrick Island has her inspiring story.
If you've been a part around the AUM Communication Department for any amount of time, you've probably heard of the name Tariana Causey. Being a part of 18 different campus clubs, she's more than just a student. From a young age, Tariana had it difficult.
You know her story, you know what a remarkable story she has.
So my early life, I suffered from eczema and a speech disorder where I basically isolated myself from other people and was told I would never be anything.
Instead of letting it beat her, she used it as motivation.
As someone who missed out on just going to little parties and stuff, all because of having to go to programs and work on myself and my speech, it's always been a thing for me to be very, very involved because it's kind of like a way for me and to make little young me happy and make up for everything I missed out on.
And now she's one of the faces of AUM's student body.
The girl is involved in like 18 different clubs and organizations, and she does so at a really, really high rate of effectivity, and she maintains a 4.0 GPA. Oftentimes you see students get involved and their GPAs suffer because they're like, hey, I have too much going on. I didn't have time to do this project, but that's never the case with Tariana.
Her advice for those looking to become a communication major is one of welcoming.
The communication department is a very close-knit department. We are literally communication majors, so we'll be able to communicate with each other.
Reporting for AUM Live, I'm Patrick Island.
The captain of AUM's women's soccer team officially hung up her cleats on November 2nd during senior night, ending a game she's loved since she was 6. Aurora Gobi reflects on the emotions of doing everything for the last time and the memories and rituals she's carried with her forever. AUM Live reporter Sophia Cherubuk has the story.
Hi, this is Sophia Cherubuk from AUM Live, and I'm here with the at this point we can say that you're retired, captain from women's soccer. Her name is Aurora Gobbi. She is from Italy too, and today we're gonna just talk about the end of her athletic career. She's gonna tell us about her emotions, her feeling, and her thoughts about this special night that happened last week about her senior night.
That night, for Aurora, it wasn't just the end of a game. It was the realization that a part of her life was about to change forever. Every gesture had a different meaning. Putting on her shin guards, lacing up her shoes, putting on her jersey, all for the last time.
Everything that I lived, it was kind of like knowing in the background that it was for the last time. So I was putting my cleats on for the last time. I was wrapping my shins for the shin guards for the last time. I was putting my jersey on for the last time. I was again. It was all for the last time and all full of sadness.
Among her most vivid memories are winning a tournament in Italy and then the epic game at AUM, won with only 24 seconds left on the clock during last year's senior night. Moments that remains imprinted even when the stadium lights go out. Before every game, she performs a small ritual, stepping forward with her right foot, tying a black band around her wrist, kissing it, and then looking up to the sky.
Before a game, every time that I step into the field for the walk-in, I'm always stepping first with my right, always, always.
Nice.
And then I usually put a black piece of tape around my wrist. That's for my grandpa, but I always kiss it, and then I look up at the sky, kind of like, that's for you, grandpa.
That's so sweet. Thank you so much, Aurora.
You're welcome.
Because at the end, for Aurora, soccer has never been just a sport, but it's been her whole entire life.
That's all for today's edition of AUM Live.
Thanks for joining us. From all of us here, have a great day, and we'll see you next time on AUM Live.